Welcome back, Chiefs fans, to Over 50. So this week, the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 17 have the Cincinnati Bengals on the road in Cincinnati. This Cincinnati team is not the Cincinnati team that we have known over the last decade. They're the Bengals this year, not the Bungles. They're playing much better. I've been trying to piece together some statistical data to kind of sort of give my comparison or give my 2 cents on how I think the game may possibly go. I've watched a lot of NFL Network and just couldn't believe how they are so on the Bengals bandwagon, like the Kansas City Chiefs can't win this game. It almost kind of seems like. So I've gone ahead and just pulled some data. I'm going to put together what I think might happen, how I think the game might shape out. First off, start with the injury list. And first thing I wanted to bring up is we know that Clyde Edwards-Helaire does not have any kind of no broken bones in the collarbone. So all the x-rays were negative. So we know that he does not. So that basically means his year is not over. And I'm under the impression that since the Chiefs did not put him on injured reserve, and I suppose if they did put him on injured reserve, that would mean he wouldn't be available for week 17, 18, or the first week of the playoffs. And that would be a pretty bold thing for them to do because you don't know if you're going to get the first round bye yet. So I wanted to look at the injuries, and I wanted to try to see if I could get an injury report before 1:45 on a Friday. But some teams have put out their injury reports, other teams haven't. So, and this is, I'll just refresh it one more time just to make sure that, yeah. So the Chiefs haven't shown anything yet. So Edwards-Helaire hasn't played or practiced, this week. Mike Hughes was out Wednesday, personal issue. He had full practice yesterday. Willie Gay practiced both days fully. Ben Neiman practiced both days fully. I'm fond of Ben Neiman, so I'll move on. Derek Nottie practiced fully. Jerron Reed practiced fully. So those are two real important pieces on the defensive line. The Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, practiced fully both today or yesterday and Wednesday. So I expect to see the Honey Badger back. And Joe Tooney with an illness didn't practice today. So I'm going to assume that this is not probably COVID-19 because I'm sure if they would have had those symptoms, they wouldn't have been able to categorize it as an illness. They would have come right out and said it. So that's kind of what the injury report looks like for the Chiefs. The Cincinnati Bengals, Cam Sample, he's a edge rusher. He's a backup. He didn't practice at all Wednesday or Thursday. Neither did Jalen Davis. He's another backup secondary player. So it looks like the Bengals are coming into this pretty healthy because Burrow and Khalid Kareem and Logan Wilson, they all fully practice. So I think the Bengals are coming in about as healthy as a team could hope to come in as. So the next thing I want to do is pull up and go through some stats. And before I do that, if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you got any questions or comments, put them down below. I'd love to hear them. I'd like to try to make this better for you so that you'll want to tune in and see what I have to say. And share this video with your friends out there. So I went ahead and pulled some player stats. Just thought we'd compare quarterback to quarterback. And right here is Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Just happen to be, now this is basically sorted on passing yards. I didn't alter it or anything like that. I just left it like this. But I think both of these guys are pretty comparable quarterbacks. I mean, Burrows has a slightly higher completion percentage. He's thrown more picks. Patrick Mahomes has more touchdowns. He's got a higher quarterback rating. I just, I think both of these guys are. I think they're both equal. I couldn't believe how the NFL Network just flat out gave the advantage to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's been sacked. That's what this column is right here. I'll highlight this number. Joe Burrow's been sacked 47 times. That means the offensive line's not doing a very good job when you consider Patrick Mahomes has been sacked 27 times. So Joe Burrow has hit the deck 20 more times than Patrick Mahomes. So I think with this, the first key is our defensive line going to be able to manhandle their offensive line? And can we do that? One, can we do that without blitzing? If we can't do that without blitzing, I think we're still okay, because we've shown the last couple of weeks, even, against the Steelers and the other game, the Chiefs have been playing a lot of press man coverage and bringing, 6, 7 guys, so I mean, it's, and they've been able to get to the quarterback, and they haven't been getting burned. And I've got another website I want to show you here where the Chiefs have, if you look at a lot of the defensive rankings, and I'll pull this up, team defense, this is not going to break the Chiefs defense down into, weeks 1 through 8 when the defense was non-existent, and then into weeks 8 through 16 when the defense has been improved. But I just think this is kind of interesting. If you look at team defense, there's Kansas City at 6th overall. And then down here you have Cincinnati at 14. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being 14, but I think 6th overall, I think this bodes well for Kansas City. I think Kansas City's defense is going to have to, I don't think either one of these defenses is going to shut the other team down. But I think Kansas City's defense definitely could be the key to this game. And I think, Honey Badger and Willie Gay, we get Nick Bolton back, and then on the offense side of the ball, we got Travis Kelce back. Tyreek Hill was back last week. He just wasn't feeling well, so he's had a week to, improve on that. So I really think that Kansas City is looking pretty good, going into this game from a health standpoint. But this was something I found interesting, and this was published December 27th. NFL or 2021 NFL defensive rankings. Green Bay Packers drop, Kansas City Chiefs rising. Okay, I just want to scroll through here. Now you see the Bengals, they make the top 20 for this report, and they were last week unranked. Now, this is my thing. I'm not saying the Bengals don't have a good defense, but when you let Josh Johnson walk in off the street and throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and what are you going to do what are you going to let Patrick Mahomes do? So I'm not saying that the defense isn't, their defense is trash, but I'm just not understanding everything in the media that's, everyone's like, oh, the Chiefs are in trouble this week. The Chiefs are in trouble this week. I'm just not seeing it. I'm not saying that they can't lose the game, but I just thought this was interesting. So you got the Bears, they improved. So I'm just going to go ahead and scroll it. And 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. And here are the Chiefs, 9th. Now, every website's going to have their own different, and I love these ads that just pop up. They are just wonderful. But this is what I kind of thought I found interesting, was this little write-up here. And this is from the pictures from Jay Biggerstaff, USA Today Sports. The write-up, the second half turnaround from the Kansas City Chiefs defense is incredible. From week 1 through 7, opponents averaged 275.7 passing yards, 128.9 rushing yards per game, all the while converting 48.7% of their third down attempts. That's not good. When you're giving up 276 yards passing, 129 yards rushing, and almost 50% of the time your opponent can successfully, completes or, succeeds on third down, you're not going to be doing much. It goes on to say we've seen a completely different unit ever since. From weeks 8 through 16, Kansas City is holding opponents to 219.4 passing yards. Okay, that's almost 55 yards less passing, and 105.8 rushing yards. So, or 105.8 rushing yards. So basically 106 yards rushing when they were giving up 129. That's huge. And a 31.4 third down conversion rate per game. So you go from almost 50% giving up successful third down completions. Now you're giving up 31.4%. If this group shuts down Joe Burrow in week 17, it will warrant a much higher spot in their final defensive rankings for the year. So I just kind of thought that right there kind of sums up what the Chiefs have done. I think that the NFL should have buried the Chiefs when they had the chance. And, I was calling for Steve Spagnuolo's head because I felt by week 8 something should have been done. You should have had something figured out by then. And Kansas City finally started to turn things around. The defense has been good. The offense has been doing much better with not turning the ball over. I think Kansas City wins this game if they manage to keep the turnovers under control. I see this game being like a 41-38, shootout, maybe with Butker kicking a field goal as time expires, and Kansas City wins and goes ahead and moves on and hopefully gets a little bit of help with Tennessee and goes closer to clinching that #1 seed. But anyhow, this video has probably gone a lot longer than you wanted to watch for it. So if you watched it all the way through, I greatly appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed the stats. If you would, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you have any comments, please put them down below. Share this video with your friends out there. And until next time, Chiefs fans, have a happy new year. And hopefully we start the new year off and 2022 off with a victory over the Bengals. Later.